Hi there, I'm Tracy Perry with Hope for the Journey, and this week I wanted to talk with you about overwhelm and dissociation. I know, not a fun topic, but overwhelm is so normal, and it's a huge issue for therapists when they're starting to try and build their practice and build their skills. And sometimes this overwhelm can go on for many years. Totally makes sense. Why? Well, for starters, when you start out with grad school, they don't talk about complex trauma and dissociation. They don't give you any real framework for how to deal with it. If they do talk about it, it's very generally, it's just a drop in the bucket. There's really not much you can take from it. Okay, so then you're moving around, maybe trying to decide to move past some of the more basic types of therapy, and you're realizing that you need a good trauma tool. That's great. That is a huge, huge stumbling block that a lot of therapists miss. So if you're already there, that's great. But then you get into EMDR training, IFS, you get into somatic experiencing, even TFCBT, you get into it and they're like, oh, this is great with simple trauma. But when you want to do it with complex trauma or dissociation, oh, you need more training, you need more consultation. So again, you're frustrated. So then you go back to the drawing board and you're saying, okay, so now I need some training specifically in dissociation. So when we go for those, and those trainings are great in terms of like helping you understand. So now you're seeing things in a different way. You're understanding the framework of dissociation and how it plays in. But most of those trainings are not really great at giving you things that you can practice week in and week out with clients so that you actually get better at treating it. One thing to understand it, completely a different thing to be able to treat it. So, of course, you're going to feel overwhelmed. Then let's add in that, oh, by the way, working with dissociative clients is, stirs you up. We are hardwired for connection. So when my clients feel dissociative, I'm going to feel that in my body. And it's going to dysregulate my own nervous system, my own body system, and I'm going to feel it. So I've got all this trauma energy then I don't know what to do with. And then, working with dissociative clients and complex trauma, guess what? It's just like being in an intimate relationship or parenting. It brings all your issues that are unresolved to the surface and says, here, what are you going to do with it? Right? So it brings up all your own stuff for you. So no wonder therapists are feeling overwhelmed. They are having trouble finding training for it. It's dysregulating their bodies, and then it's bringing up all their own stuff. So the natural conclusion that a lot of therapists then turn to is, well, I'm just not going to work with dissociation, right? You've all heard these therapists maybe on some of the referral, Facebook groups or whatever, and they're like, oh, I don't do that. I'm going to refer to this person. And that's great. And that's fine. I'm just going to do this one thing. I'm going to do depression, or I'm going to do maybe substance abuse, or I'm going to do, something else. But all the dissociative people, those are going to go over there. But here's the thing, and I'm here to tell you, just because you say that you're not working with dissociation and you're referring out anyone that's a known client that's dissociating does not mean that you're not working with dissociation. And the problem then is that not only are you working with clients that don't know that they're dissociative, even worse, you don't know that they're dissociative. And so you can't treat them in an effective way. And you can often do things in a way that actually harm the client. So I want you to know that, and the one thing that I want you to take from this one little golden nugget, is that your overwhelm is totally normal. And if you stick with me, it's going to be temporary. I'm going to get you there. We're going to talk about so that you can understand it, you can know how to spot it, and you know what to do in session. So for this week, every time that overwhelm comes up, just remind yourself that you're normal and that it's temporary. And if you haven't downloaded the ultimate cheat sheet for dissociation, do it today. Can't tell you how many people have downloaded it and then said, whew, I had it. I looked at it before a session. It was just so grounding. And it reminded me very quickly of some things to do that just really helped get the session off in the right direction. I'd also love to hear how you, your questions and how it's working for you. So definitely feel free to push reply and get a conversation going. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next week.